Hey guys, Angela Nash here. Hope you guys are having a great start to actually, I don't even know what day it is. And we're in that weird phase of time where we don't know what day it is, but I'm pretty sure I think it's like Wednesday or it's Thursday. It's Thursday. So I have been on the phone a lot talking to people about 2023 and everything that is going on in 2023. And are going to be happening in 2023, what the housing market is like. And I want to do a quick video and recap of some of the things that kind of went on in 2022 versus the year before, and then kind of look at what experts are saying for 2023 and give a little bit of insight from our own point of view. Let me see if I can get this ring light. We need a little bit of light, but we don't need it to where it's like you could see it in my glasses. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. There we go. All right. So you guys, but I hope you guys have had a great year. It's been a stellar year for me in real estate. I was able to help so many families. I think we did 35 families overall. A lot of those were buy and sells, not just in South Carolina, but all over the country, and that was really cool. Thank you so much to a lot of my Tom Ferry family, Elite family. We were able to do a lot of deals together. For each other's clients, and that was really rewarding as well. So, but I wanted to just start off talking about this year. If I could put 2022 and use one word to describe 2022, I would say it was an anomaly. An anomaly is what I would say is the word I would use to describe it. I mean, we had everything from the market being complete pandemonium to a very nice slowdown, to where not too excessive of a slowdown, but a somewhat of a slowdown. But we also had where we saw interest rates basically doubled, and rose to the point that we haven't seen since interest rates were actually started being recorded. So that was a little bit crazy. There's been a lot of talk of recession. There's been a lot of talk about returning to 2008. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get this right so you guys don't have that weird glare. A lot of conversation around 2008 and what the market looked like in 2008, versus what the market looks like now. And the crazy thing is, even though we're seeing a lot of things that make the market uncertain, we're still not in a recession, you guys. As far as we're not seeing 2008, let's just say that. In all markets, we're seeing where the recession actually is here. However, there's some things that need to be explained about mortgages and why that doesn't affect mortgages and real estate like it does every other market. And we're going to get into that a little bit. Let's just recap a little bit about what happened and where we ended up this year versus last year. So currently listed on our MLS, last year we had 17,000, or sorry, last year we had 19,805 homes listed. This year we have 17,762. So that's a difference of about 2,000 homes that are not on the market, which means, I'm going to keep saying this throughout this video, is that means there is still a demand, but the inventory is still very low. And I'm going to show you how that all comes together here in just a moment. And then as far as our volume, we had a 14% decrease in volume sold. But you guys, our average home price increased 13%. Our sales price, our median home sales price went up 16%. It went from 220, that was last year, to 255 this year. And I had this conversation with a lot of people this year where they were planning on selling their home and purchasing another home. And I think they thought they were going to get the same price as they were if they, the same amount of home for as much as they spent the year before. And that just was not going to happen. And I explained that to them, that what you purchased your home for last year is not going to be the same as much house as you're going to get this year. So there's that to consider if you are thinking about buying or selling. There are also some really great other things that we had happen, as far as we didn't have a complete and utter stop. I know a lot of people, if you've never been a real estate agent in a market like the market that we've had, or a market that's slower, we used to be where it got to be 30 days on the market, then we start worrying. Now we're still seeing where homes are still only on the market for an average of 15 to 17 days. Some of your houses in the market of 400,000 and up, and those sales price points, you are seeing those stay on maybe like 20, 25 days, 30 sometimes. But a lot of that, you're going to look at the time, especially during the holidays. We tend to see somewhat of a slowdown in some cases because people just, are not out there thinking. But also a lot of this, the question I ask is a lot of some of some of the slowdown, is this because there's so much talk about recession as it pertains to every area of our world, or is it because it's just actually just the way the market is going? But there's so much conversation around recession. There's so much conversation around 2008. The biggest thing that I can say about why we are nowhere near 2008 is because all of the conditions that we had before are not the conditions that we have today. In 2008, the lending practices were, I don't know, dare I say, loosey goosey. We do not have those lending practices that we used to have. Um, Now, when you're qualified for a home, you most certainly are qualified for a home, and you're qualified for what you can actually spend. And typically, in a market like this, we're talking to people about spending less than what their actual amount allotted for them to spend. Also, looking at other things, just knowing that this market, when we had COVID, things like that, that was more of and I wish I had a whiteboard. Maybe once I get all this technology figured out, we'll do that. But it was more like a shape like this. Whereas when you have something like what we had with 2008, this was more of an event than it was like an actual something having to do with the market. The pandemic was an event, and that event, and honestly, we had so many people still purchase homes. I think it allowed people to see if their homes were too small or if their homes were too big. It allowed people to maybe even take some equity out of their homes and put it in other areas. And so you saw a lot of that in 2022, but there wasn't such an urgency in 2022. Again, because there has been a significant amount of conversation around recession, but also I just think because that we are in a recession where it pertains to other markets. But again, part of the reason why you won't see this touch real estate as much as you normally would in like it was in 2008 is because of the way lending practices are done. Now, that being said, I think there's a lot of people who are like, oh, well, do I buy now? Now is always a better time to buy than later. I know a lot of people were thinking that they were going to wait and they were going to say, oh, like we'll just wait for rates to go down. And rates did exactly the opposite. Rates shot up, and they were thinking that they were going to be able to afford a home for the same amount that they were 3 or 4 months ago, and that just didn't happen. So when you're thinking about buying a home, if you have the funds, if you have the resources to do so, now is always a better time than later. And that's just always how it's been in markets that you see is that the rates will go up every now and then, they'll go back down, but we see the rates like we saw in 2022 early on, and end of 2021 and 2020. I don't think we're going to see those rates in 2023. Some of the things I do think we'll see in 2023, and we're going to make this more granular for Richland specifically and the Columbia Midlands, is I think that, yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a slowdown as far as how long houses are on the market. And that just goes with everything that's going on in the world. But is there still going to be a demand for housing? Yes. As I said, our median sales increased 16%. We have less inventory, but we still have people buying. Also, being in the Midlands, one of the things that we have is we have military. We have people who PCS in and out of Columbia, Shaw Air Force Base, and those people need homes, purchasing homes. And then also you have with the migration, we have a heavy migration from areas like Ohio, California, Arizona. Columbia and South Carolina as in general we're seeing a lot of migration from different areas. So we have that going for us, but also our market, for the most part, anything happening on a national level, we see it trickle down to us in a very, very slow rate than you do in like other areas where the housing market is more volatile. Ours is less volatile, which is really, really great for South Carolina. I know in 2008, I just got my license in 2007. And I remember that South Carolina definitely got hit by that, but it was not nearly as bad as people in Florida, California, and in other areas where they literally were losing their shirt left and right. So that's something to be thinking about for 2023, that if we still have a market where it's still affordable to purchase a home. Of course, like I said, our price point has increased from 220, average sales home price from 220 to 255. I mean, just think in 2019, 2020, it started out as 165, 175 is where our median house price. And now we're all the way up to That's almost $300,000. And that's pretty wild to think about. So in that regards, we are definitely in need of more inventory because we still are short on inventory, considering the people that are still looking to purchase and buy, considering the migration from different states, considering that we have military families here moving in and out of Colombia. So there are so many really great things they'll be looking forward to. And even the experts are saying that the housing demand is still there. There's still a demand for housing. Of course, that's going to vary area to area. I think New York has had a little bit of a different time than we have. They are seeing the recession hit more vigorously than, like I said, we are, because of lending practices, but also because we're not in a severe volatile market. So that being said, if you are someone that is looking to buy in 2023, some of the other things I think we're going to see in 2023 is more new construction. If you haven't been watching and paying attention to what's happening around you, there are several new developments, which I'm going to cover in videos over the next few weeks, showing you what the latest developments are. There are even some properties that are rental properties that are going up as well. So if you're in the market for renting, the interesting thing about that is, and this is just my personal thought, is that Colombia is still one of the only places in the nation, one of the few places in the nation where it's more affordable to purchase a home than it is to rent. So keep that in mind, considering unless you're thinking about staying here for a year or two, not really sure if you like it. Renting may be best for you. If you have some sort of things to deal with your credit, things of that nature. But typically, if you have things to deal with your credit, and they are significant enough where you're not able to purchase home, you may not be able to rent some of these new developments that are coming up, but because they do have some lending requirements, or they do have some rental requirements, and credit is one of those. So, but yeah, I think that there are so many things to be looking forward to in 2023. Like I said, there's going to be more new home construction. We're already seeing that. And two, one of the things also, like if you are a seller and in 2021, people were giving you things, they were offering prices well over asking, they were waiving appraisals. I don't think we're going to be seeing appraisals waived as much. In fact, I've actually seen more appraisal adjustments in price for appraisals in the past, I'd say month and a half. I think you're probably going to see more of that if agents don't get an understanding of the market that we're in today. And we have to make those price adjustments and price points changes and shifts to make sure that we compensate for this market. Another thing you're going to see, I think, for sellers is, and for buyers as well, a little bit more negotiation for buyers. Buyers will have more of a negotiation, a bargaining chip, where it comes to things like appraisals or, possibly like helping them buy down the rate. That was something that was very, very popular in the last few months of, giving points, helping pay for points to buy down the rate for buyers. That was something that sellers did. Closing cost, things like that, more repairs corrected, things of that nature. We're going to see a lot more of that. While it's still a seller's market, there's now room for negotiation, which means there's a slight shift, but not big enough to say that's not a seller's market because, again, inventory is still low. So that's also something that we're going to be looking forward to in 2023. I'm super excited about 2023. I think one of the biggest things that you are going to have to look forward to seeing more of is that your realtors who might have come in and kind of like, oh, this is a great idea, and everybody and their cousin was selling real estate. It is now the market for the knowledge brokers, your educators in real estate, people who have seen different markets. If you lived through 2008, 2009, then you have a knowledge of navigating through the crazy market and then the slower market, and then knowing how to market homes in those times is going to be very, very vital to anyone who is looking to sell a home during this time. And so I just wanted to give like a quick update. I'm definitely going to do these more. Hopefully I can get a whiteboard and make it more splashy where you guys can see more of the details, but stay tuned. If you don't follow me, please follow me on Instagram at SC Fancy Realtor. Follow me over there. I'll talk more about this. We're going to see more weekly market updates about what's happening in the market. Maybe, you know what, let's just say every other week, because I don't know if you need a weekly update unless something wild happens. But again, the market here in Colombia is looking really great. I think I posted something maybe it was like last week or right before Christmas, about that, about what realtor.com is saying about the market, about a lot of areas Post and Courier saying about the market right here in the Columbia Midlands, and how, we're still doing really, really good. And that's something great if you're thinking about selling your home. But again, make sure that you're hiring a knowledge broker, somebody who's going to be willing to educate you on this market, not yesterday's market, not the 2022 market, but the upcoming 2023 market. You're going to need to have people who know how to navigate through the market that we are seeing. And also, it's an uncertain market. So you're going to need people who know how to navigate in an uncertain market, meaning they know how to pivot. They know how to pivot the branding. They know how to pivot the price adjustments, things like that. And they're on top of what is happening in the market. So thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you guys have a great new year. This will be the last market update because we only have a few months left in this year. But again, I just want to remind you guys again, median home sales price, we had 16% increase. And then as far as homes that are listed currently there are only 17,762 homes listed in our MLS as a whole. Columbia Midlands, it goes down, of course, but and then last year in our entire MLS, we had 19,805 year to date. So again, the price point has increased and the number of homes that are listed has decreased. There is such a demand still there for homes. So if you're somebody that is looking to list your home right now and headed into 2023, please give me a call. I'm Angela Nash, 803-599-8577 or 803-318-0577. You can also email me. You can follow me here at SC Fancy Realtor on Instagram, at SC Fancy Realtor, and on Facebook at SC Fancy Realtor. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. I hope to see all of you very, very soon, and look